Hey everyone, Kyle once again, and welcome to part 4 of the Q&A. Now I wonder why it's now daytime, and I'm gonna change a different shirt though because I completely forgot one person whose questions I didn't answer. I completely overlooked it, so I do apologize for skipping over over. Grand Theft Ruben, who I completely missed, so I apologize for that. So that's why you'll see after part 3 why it's the next day and I'm a different change of shirt and it's daytime now. So yeah, I completely overlooked your questions. I do apologize for that. So but I'm gonna answer your questions right here, and then I'm gonna put it on the last part, which is going back to the way how it was from before, the same Jurassic Park shirt, and it's nighttime. So once again, I do apologize for that, Grand Theft Ruben. So I'm sorry I overlooked your questions. I had a long list. I thought I got everybody, and I guess I just somehow missed yours. So I do apologize again, once again. So, but here we go, answering for your questions, Grand Theft Ruben. Sorry, just give me 1 second here. Had to get something right here. But anyway, let's get right to your questions. So your first question is: have you ever watched a movie made by the Shaw Brothers? I heard the Shaw Brothers. They did made a whole bunch of series of Chinese martial arts movies. No, I have not. Well, I've seen only the few Chinese films I've seen from Jackie Chan though, but that's about it. But I have not seen him film those from the Shaw Brothers, so no, I have not. Your second question is: what's your favorite music genre? Rock and roll. I mean, I've enjoyed and heavy metal, because I've enjoyed the classic ones like I love Kiss, Van Halen, Guns N' Roses, like those type of heavy metal bands. I've enjoyed those musics. But as for like rock and this like simple rock and roll, well, especially for like Elvis Presley, or I love country music too, especially from my favorite from George Strait to Merle Haggard, even go Willie Nelson as well. But George Strait's always been my favorite country music singer. Yeah, it was like from heavy metal to regular rock and roll to country music, and especially I listen to those oldies music, you know, like I mentioned, like when Olivia Newton-John, when I did my video when I heard that Olivia Newton-John died, like I mentioned about Frankie Valli, you know, who's still alive surprisingly, you know, like those oldies music, like from Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, or those type of music made back in the day. Because my dad, growing up, he had my brother and I listened to some of those oldies music. He was always played, you know. So I was like it's like those are those good old oldies musics, you know. But overall, heavy metal music and rock and roll, country. Those are basically almost basically my type of favorite music genres. I never was a fan of rap. I'm not of hip hop. No, I was not. Although there is quite a few hip hop songs I do like. Yes, I mean, I do like the rap song that by Coolio did. You know, Gangsta's Paradise. There's even one or two Eminem songs I like, but that doesn't mean I'm not a fan of Eminem. There's only just a very few songs of hip hop songs I like, so but that doesn't mean I'm not a fan of the whole overall genre of that though. But yeah, but those are kind of basically the favorite music genres I like. Basically heavy metal, rock and roll, country, and so occasionally like the oldies music as well, and pop music, especially I like Michael Jackson. Yeah, all those other pop music as well. So that's another type of genre too, pop music. So, question number 3: have you seen Everything Everywhere All at Once? Yes, I have, with Michelle Yeoh and Jamie Lee Curtis. I did. I did see them. I did see Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'll have to do a movie review of that sometime later. But I do have 2 other movie reviews I'll be uploading after the Q&A is done. So another film that I did enjoy, and then another film I absolutely hated to death. But I'll have to give that movie Everything Everywhere All at Once. I'll have to give that movie review sometime later. But I did like it though, because Michelle Yeoh did a good job. So then question number 4: what's your favorite documentaries? Honestly, I haven't seen much of many documentaries. I remember years ago I watched March of the Penguins. There's the documentary of Blackfish. There was a documentary about that movie Black the whale of Telecom. About it in Sea World and all that stuff. How the whales, the orcas, get captured and put in the for the amusement parks and stuff like that. Like March of the Penguins, yeah. Then Blackfish, I saw. What was it? Was it Dinosaur 13? It was a documentary about that couple who discovered that the biggest Tyrannosaurus Rex fossil, and people were just like wanting to get their hands on it, like what the government did, I think. But I've watched very few documents. So, like, if only it's documents that grabs my attention, I'll watch it. But if not, then I'm gonna mostly hardly watch any documentaries. But the 3 ones I've watched, like, mostly was March of the Penguins, Blackfish, and then Dinosaur 13. Anyway, next question, number 5. Have you heard of the Schnookums and Meat Factory funny cartoon show? It's the Disney equivalent of Ren and Stimpy. Disney trying to be edgy and competing John Krifalski, aka John K. Time before Disney is doing the bogus woke agenda of what we have now. No, I have not though. But when I was looking at some of the questions on here before I was answering them, and when I saw the image, it does kind of like look a ripoff of Ren and Stimpy. It does. So, but I've not heard of it until I was looking at that question. So, no, I have not. But it does look like a blatant ripoff of Ren and Stimpy. The way it does kind of look. And I wouldn't be surprised with the whole woke thing, because, like I said, they always throw in a whole bunch of woke things, especially with Lightyear, with that. And you think the children want to go to a movie to see something like a spin-off of Toy Story to see that? No. Disney are just nothing but this is why I lost all respect for Disney years ago. Although I did give them a pass once in a while. I do. Like The Mandalorian. That's probably the best thing of the Star Wars saga they got right. I enjoy The Mandalorian. And also, there's another one that's from Disney. I'll have to do a movie review. That is made by Disney. It's on, which I'll have to give a movie review of that, though. But, yeah, it is made by Disney, but I'll get to that, though, eventually. But once in a while, I'll give it a pass, but it doesn't make up for everything what Disney has done over the past say 10 so years, past decade. That doesn't make up for everything. So Disney are just a bunch of stupid morons. Anyway, moving on to question number 6. What's your favorite and least favorite Ramble Rough for Life videos? My least favorite is of the Mulan 2020, because you can say if you're a fan of the film, it's cool. It's just subjective, not bashing the actress, the country, the cast, etc. I remember being sad because I'm probably one of the who enjoyed the live action remake for what it was, but hope you respect my opinion. So, because I do think the 1998 and the 2020 are great in my humble opinion. Well, like I said, you have a right to like whatever you want, I'm not here it's same with me, right? I also reviewed the 2020 remake of Mulan, and I did not like the movie at all. In my opinion, it's not because of all the actors. I just think it was a very unnecessary remake of Mulan. We all have respectful opinions on that. I'm not here to change your opinion or anyone else's. I'm here to give my own opinion. But as for his least favorite of his videos, I honestly can't pick one because they're all good videos. So I don't think I have a least favorite, and I don't think I do have a few favorite ones though. I do, but it's not in order or anything. I mean, I love his rant on Alien 3, rightfully so, because Alien is an overrated piece of crap movie, which I said my dad hated that movie. One from years back when he ranted on the prequel, the 2011 Thing prequel, which that was another great rant. But I don't think I hardly have a least favorite review of his, and I do have a few favorites of his. But like I said, I named a couple of them. But hey, if you like the Mulan remake, that's fine. We all have our own opinions. I did not like the remake. I'll just prefer the original 1998 animated movie better. To me, the actress was not that good of interpretation of Mulan, in my opinion. And plus, one thing is, because if it's supposed to be a serious live-action remake, that's why you don't have Mushu in there, because people, like, in the 2020 remake, the bad guys, they can just run up the wall, they can just run up the Great Wall and all that, and all this woman who could turn into, like, a freaking phoenix and all that, but no, having a small, talking little dragon, that's just way too funny. Trying to be serious, but yeah, they have all that stuff going on. But anyway, yeah. But if you don't like the 2020 remake of it, that's fine. That's question number 6. Moving on to number 7. The next one is even more detailed, hoping that you understand. Do you know that Louvre Iffy of the Forbidden Kingdom and Mulan 2020 got 24/7 of death threats 3 years ago? It was like wildfire of misery and hatred towards the fairy sister, her nickname due to her sweet and innocent look. If you see the IMDb behind the scene photos of the 2020 film, there's no off-screen conflicts or anything like that. She recently saved and she visited Disneyland Shanghai. Plus she recently got more positive comments, love messages, and since recent times. Look, personally, I just didn't think she was not that good in that Mulan, the Mulan remake. But I don't think she doesn't deserve death threats. People who give death threats to someone, to an actress that they think was a very insulting, they're a bunch of, fucking morons. They're just a bunch of fucking morons. They don't do that. You don't. Just because you don't like a person, you don't go that far to the extreme to give someone death threats, okay? I was not a fan of the 2020 remake, but I don't go giving that actress, just because I didn't think she was not that good, I don't go giving her death threats, okay? I'm not an asshole, okay? Those guys who give death threats are assholes, okay? I'm not. I just give my honest opinion, but I don't go give death threats to people. I don't do that. It's like, this funny thing is, just, hey, like a while back, when I ranted on the first Wonder Woman back in 2017, I got so much shit for it because I did not like the movie. Okay, people have the right to give their opinions, but the thing is, though, you just don't go say, oh, you're just you don't go say, oh, you're an idiot for not liking this. Wonder Woman is great, Yeah, so I should just jump on the just jump on the bandwagon, just because it's so praised and everyone likes it. I should just go on the bandwagon and just go along with, oh, it's a great movie too. No, okay. To me, Wonder Woman sucked. I never liked Gal Gadot as an actress. Okay. To me, I think she sucks as an actress. Okay. In my opinion, she does. Okay, but people just go that far extreme to say, "Oh, you're an idiot. You know, you're stupid for not liking that movie." You know, same thing. You know, people just you know, some people just want to outright be assholes. You know, and I don't recall I ever got death threats though, but people just want to go that far to just insult someone like that just for not liking a movie or an actress. You know, you don't go that far to the extreme to give death threats. You know, okay. No one doesn't deserve death threats like that, because you're just for giving an honest opinion. But hey, that's how the world works. People are out there. There are assholes out there in the world. Okay, not everyone can. Not everyone wants to be so nice and all that stuff. No, there are some people that just want to be assholes. So yeah, for the actress who does play Mulan in the 2020, which my point across, she didn't deserve to get death threats. She doesn't deserve it. Okay, people have the right to opinions. If people think she did a good job in that movie, that's fine. If people think, like myself, in my opinion, didn't think she was not the good, to me that's my opinion. But I don't go outright and give the actress death threats. I don't do that. That's just going way too far and way too overboard. There are people who are assholes like that out there. I'm sorry. This is how the way the world works. You know. All they can do is just block them and just move on though. But the actress didn't deserve to get death threats. No one does. And like me, I don't deserve to get death threats just because I didn't like a certain movie that everyone loves. I don't. So, but anyway, I would say that was an interesting question. So that's number 7. Now going on to number 8. Now moving on to number 8. This time back to positive Q&A. Would you like to visit Graceland? Not really, honestly. I mean, I know it's a place of the home of Elvis Presley, you know, but I know, although I love Elvis Presley, the songs he did, you know, but I think it's not one of the visiting spots I would like to go. Like, one thing I would love to go to, I would like to visit Tokyo in Japan. That's one place I would really love to go. I would go to. Graceland. That's not gonna happen in my lifetime, but babe, I can always just change my mind on that though. But maybe in the next future years, you know. But Graceland, not my kind of place though. Like I'd rather prefer to go see Tokyo instead. But Graceland, who knows? Maybe in the next 20 years or so, maybe, who knows? But okay, then that was a quick question, but that was number 8. Number 9, what is your favorite decade? The 80s and 90s. The 70s were good too. But I always prefer the 80s and 90s, but mostly the 90s just slightly more, because since I was born in 91. And I grew up watching a lot of the movies that came out within the 90s. You know, from of course from my all-time favorite movie, Jurassic Park, as well as the sequel to The Lost World. As for action films, Under Siege 2, Broken Arrow, well, I was gonna say Face Off, but I like Face Off, but it wasn't a favorite of mine though. But like other action films like Hard Target and Tremors, prime example from 1990. Tremors, Deep Blue Sea. Another favorite of mine, Godzilla 1998. Congo, Space Jam, Saving Private Ryan, Small Soldiers. I love all those movies. Other ones, that's all the movie posters I have in my room right now. But I said Congo, Space Jam, Jingle All the Way, Arnold movies from the 90s, like End of Days, Eraser, Stallone movies like Demolition Man, Cliffhanger. Let's see what else from the 90s. Like I mentioned Broken Arrow. Or even the Disney anime movies like Hercules or Tarzan, Mulan. Beauty and the Beast from 1991. I was born that year. Aladdin. Back when Disney was good, and they weren't so very PC and woke back then. And I mentioned about it's like Tremors. But I don't want and I love the 80s too, because John Carpenter's The Thing, my all-time favorite horror film. The Blob from 1988. Blade Runner. Predator. Oh, speaking of 1990, Predator 2. Predator 2 also from 1990. Home Alone 1 and 2, because that was also that, because that's the biggest money thing in during the time of 1990, Home Alone. But also Die Hard from 1988. Speed. Twister. Independence Day. I mentioned more 90s stuff, so like more of those. The Fifth Element. Pulp Fiction. So many. There's so many. Mrs. Doubtfire. I miss Robin Williams. Apollo 13. Just so much of the 90s. Like Tremors 2. Aftershocks. Star Trek First Contact. The best one of the Next Generation movies. A lot of stuff in the 90s that I grew up watching from the 90s. Oh, but another one. Silence of the Lambs. Love that movie. I love Silence of the Lambs. Just a lot of great movies that came out in the 90s for me that I grew up watching all the time. But like I said, I love the 80s. I love the 80s decade as well. Like I said, John Carpenter's Thing, The Blob, Blade Runner, Alligator, some of the sequels for Halloween, Halloween 2, Halloween 4, yes, even Halloween 3. I enjoy Season of the Witch on its own terms. Okay, I like Season of the Witch on its own way. All right. Also from the 80s, Big Trouble in Little China, The Fly, Aliens. Yeah, one of the best sequels. One of the best sequels, Aliens. I mentioned The Fly, Maximum Overdrive, The Breakfast Club. But it was before Emilio Estevez did that. Before at Maximum Overdrive. Back to the 90s again. Last Action Hero, Terminator from 84, and then of course T2 from 91. The 80s and 90s were the best ones, the best decades. But it's a little bit from the 90s because I grew up in the 90s, because I was born in 91, so. But yeah, 80s and 90s were definitely the best decades. Definitely hands down my favorite decades. Okay, then question number 10. Have you heard of the NES Godzilla creepypasta? Is considered one of the best video game horror stories on the internet. While I've heard of creepypasta, I have heard of it. He does all these creepy horror stories. Next to what was it? Who also did this? Mr. Nightmare as well. I like some of the stories from Mr. Nightmare. But honestly, I think I would rather prefer watching Mr. Nightmare, the horror stories, more than creepypasta personally, though. But as for NCS Godzilla creepypasta, I've not watched it. But I have heard of creepypasta though. But I'd rather prefer watching Mr. Nightmare, honestly. But if I get a chance to watching more creepypasta videos, I'll give that one Godzilla one a look. Next is question number 11. Have you heard of Winnetou? Winnetou is a fictional Native American hero of several novels written in Germany by Karl May, 1842 to 1912. One of the best-selling German writers of all time, about 200 million copies worldwide, including the Winnetou trilogy. The character has made his debut in the novel Old Firehand. In the 1960s, they made 11 movies based on the beloved Apache warrior and his German blood brother and close friend of Old Shatterhand. Klaus Kinski is also one of those films as a villain. No, I have not. I mean, I've seen old films, like all the Western films from back then, you know, but like especially the John Wayne movies, I watching with my dad, you know, but or the Lone Ranger back then, the old Lone Ranger, you know, him and Tonto, but no, I have not watched I have not watched of Winnetou. I haven't. So honestly, so I've not heard of Winnetou. But anyway, that's all the questions you have. So that's all 11 questions, and saying, hope you like the questions. Thor, Dumb and Dumber, The Circle of Nothing still makes me laugh to this day. Hope you're doing good so far. Well, thank you very much. Grand Theft Ruben, thank you for your questions, and once again, I apologize for skipping over you. That's why I'm doing this in the daytime. I have a different shirt on, because by the time I finished my Q&A from the last night, I skipped you. I guess I overlooked you. I do apologize once again, so that's why I'm putting this here, then I'm putting on the next part back into how the way it was from before, so. But yeah, thank you for the questions from Grand Theft Ruben. Hope I answered your questions good enough. Hope those are satisfactory, I would say. So thanks for watching. Take care and stay tuned for the next the last part of the Q&A, and we'll see y'all later. All right.